What's up, everybody, and welcome to my Raw review from, I guess, Scotland. They were this time in Glasgow, Scotland, and which was a very horrible show. The only thing that saved this show tonight was the crowd hijacking the show. So shout out to Scotland, a great crowd, and it's only the 23rd time they've ever been over there. And some people really do feel bad for the Scotland fans because they had to sit through nearly a 3-hour show, which is what has been reported now to what I've read from and people I know that watch the show. Only 34 minutes of wrestling, which pretty much we kicked off the show with Stephanie McMahon, which pretty much got boozed and talked about Monday Night Raw, and Mick Foley couldn't be here tonight, which went on talking about Raw versus SmackDown, brother versus sister, red versus blue, neighbor versus neighbor. And she talked about Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar, people chanting Goldberg, and then she introduced Team Raw, which was pretty much Kevin Owens, Chris Jericho, which got a lot of pops out there. Roman Reigns booed out of the building. Of course, everyone boos Reigns nowadays. Braun Strowman came out to something and stuff, and the last person on the team, which was very predictable who was going to be on this team regardless, was Seth Rollins. Pretty much went on. She talked about the team. Owens questioned if Rollins should even be on here because this team is a joke. But she told her, you guys ought to get together because she introduced the team SmackDown, which was Dean Ambrose, AJ Styles, Randy Orton, Baron Corbin, and Bray Wyatt, and talked about the former members of the Shield in this match. Strowman, him, having being held down by Bray Wyatt, and telling Jericho all 5 of these people should be on your list, especially Ambrose since he tore up his $30,000 jacket. But he says you all are going to fight like your jobs depend on it, and they do depend on it. Which he pretty much dropped the mic and left. But then, pretty much, since people looked like they didn't care, the only people they really cared about was probably Jericho and Owens, especially Jericho. As he said, stupid idiots, the people went insane for that. And he says, you guys used to be a well-oiled machine like the Shield. But this isn't the Shield anymore. The Shield died, and it was because of Seth Rollins that killed it. And he says, you guys are going to work together, so you're going to keep your mouth shut and listen to us pretty much. As Rollins said he did, they pretty much started all attacking each other then, which the only people that was last standing was pretty much Roman and Strowman, which didn't even talk on the mic really. But as Strowman left the ring after knocking people out there, Stephanie says, you all are going to compete in a fatal 5-way match. Why, I don't know. But only Jericho and Owens were pretty much the highlight out of this whole thing, really. Next was a cruiserweight match, Brian Kendrick and the debut, or Raw debut, which was in his hometown of Scotland, which I do hear that this man had more chance since people were at the show and took footage of it. Because I know, unfortunately, I know a lot is going to be a lot of volume audio things during Raw, because the idiots like Kevin Dunn and Vince McMahon wanted to turn the volume down because they didn't like the chants so loud, especially for Noam Dar, who got a tremendous pop when he came out there, to go against Rich Swann and Sin Cara. Which I didn't even know Sin Cara was out there because everybody else got an entrance. But Noam Dar got a huge reaction, talked about Scotland's own and everything, and it wasn't much really out of this match, to be honest. It was pretty much Rich Swann and Sin Cara did win. They did beat Kendrick and Noam Dar, with Swann hitting the pretty much a roll up on him, which people kind of booed at, but people were all over for Noam Dar, chanting his name, chanting Scotland, I believe, and won the match, which was and then pretty much Kendrick tried to blame him, but Noam Dar took him out with a running kick. I don't know what's gonna look like after this week for him, because like, come on, he's the only time, come on, it's his hometown, and everyone's gonna go nuts, which he was promised many times ago, but they never brought him on TV till now. They played Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar video package, with Goldberg talked about does he have one more in him, and he's to live himself, and they took old clips from WCW and when Goldberg was here in the early 2000s, and the match with him and Lesnar, and then they played a Lesnar video with him. Pretty much he can say anything he wants, it's almost like a UFC style sit now. Pretty much says, yeah, I can give it 2 shits about his kids, and pretty much, going on saying, like, this man's been in here in 12 years and he thinks he can go against me. I didn't want to do wrestling anymore, I want to be an athlete in other places, so this is Brock Lesnar sit down, which they're just hyping this up because they're both going to be on the show next week. But, I don't know, it's video package. I don't really know if that match is really going to be that great, to be honest. I really do believe it's not going to go out well. They went in the back with Stephanie McMahon, pretty much trying to bring Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan next week on Raw, and she didn't want to be on SmackDown tomorrow. And then when Sami Zayn came into the room for a request, oh boy, it's not good. Pretty much came in the room for a request, wanting a match. This video is not going to go out well. Pretty much wanting a match, I believe a Survivor Series, but Stephanie McMahon pretty much emasculated him. Pretty much made him look like a punk. Didn't even let Sami Zayn talk. And he talked about the Intercontinental title. Man, this is not gonna go. It's just noise. She talked about the Intercontinental Championship, which is going to be a Raw versus SmackDown thing. And shit's really messing me up. Pretty much SmackDown versus Raw, and pretty much said that Mick Foley wanted them since, Ziggler opened an open challenge, but I guess Mick Foley accepted the challenge, which doesn't really make sense. And she pretty much told him, like, you and Rusev are going to battle each other tonight. You will wrestle each other. Whoever wins gets an Intercontinental title shot at Survivor Series against Ziggler. And she wanted him to bring the title back to Raw. Which is weird, because Raw has way too many titles when you look at it. And it's funny how if Sami Zayn or whoever wins this match, if they win, they get to bring the title, but if SmackDown wins, they don't get nothing in return. It's just like, we lose. We just lose the title. We don't gotta give up nothing. So you get nothing in return if you're gonna, risk your secondary title being lost. But Stephanie McMahon pretty much emasculated Sami Zayn, which I don't know what they're doing with Sami Zayn on Raw half the time. The New Day was about to come out, but they brought all the other teams pretty much for the Survivor Series tag team match. Since the Raw team is Enzo and Cass, the Club, Golden Truth, Cesaro and Sheamus, and the New Day. Yeah, that's pretty much it of all the teams. Which people did the soft thing, then Gallows and Anderson, then Golden Truth, Cesaro and Sheamus. Then they talked about each other as people chanted Scotland, Scotland. Sheamus tried to make fun of Scotland and tell that Ireland was better, but Gallows very much called Sheamus, like just a nerd, and Cesaro talked and says, you guys would have been funnier, you want to call him the Red Rooster, it would have been funny if you guys called me the third member of the club. That would have been funny. And they talked about everybody didn't want to be on the team and stuff until New Day came out, dressed as Braveheart and people from Scotland, as he brought out Francesca's second cousin, Agnes, the bagpipes, and he had a new respect for Scotland and everything. So they came out playing bagpipes and stuff, the New Day. Sheamus didn't want to be on the team then, and then they made fun of Sheamus' attire, saying shame, shame, shame. And, we have to fight for Raw. The Gallows and Anderson said we're out too, because they, we're not with losers like the New Day as captains and stuff. As Big E pretty much acted like Braveheart then, he says they can take away our freedom, but they'll never take away our war. I didn't watch Braveheart that much, but everyone ate it up and everything. They'll never win the battle. And SmackDown says it's going to be a hole in the ground because the certified real estate agent G's are coming in. So, New Day said, well, the New Day said, if you're out, then get out then, pretty much. And Gallows and Anderson, we'll do this then, but you guys better stay out of our way. Because they said they wanted to be the captains. But New Day pretty much went on and says, we are the captains. And, you know, we talked to the general manager tonight, and, you know, you could have a match right now. Since you guys keep losing, it was New Day versus Gallows and Anderson, which Gallows and Anderson won. They only win, like, non-title wins anyway. They can't never win the big gold, because they lose to everybody half the time. But, I don't know, Gallows and Anderson Club, they've been wasted on Raw. They barely do anything. Goldberg and Truth won it back since they put their spot for Survivor Series on the line against the Shining Stars for travel packages. Which, and here's another thing about Raw. When I said there was only like 34 minutes of wrestling, throughout nearly almost 90 minutes of the show, we've only seen literally 2 matches that have gone very quick. A lot of these were segments that took up the whole time. Just like the Brock Lesnar promo. That took a minute too. And then, pretty much Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho went in the back, talked to Braun Strowman, so we're on the same page and stuff. And, you know, you were very stupendous, and we know we won't put you on the list, but Strowman said, you know, we know you're going to put me on your little list and stuff. And Owens talked about Strowman, says, you know, this is Team Kevin, Chris, and Braun. That sounds pretty good. And Braun Strowman says, I'm on Team Braun, which Braun Strowman got a lot of chance to talk tonight for some reason. The Shining Stars then went against Goldust and Truth, which they won, so now Goldust and Truth are now in this tag team. This whole tag team thing sounds like a clusterfuck anyways. I feel like this match is not going to go out well with all these people in here, but the Shining Stars are in it, which I don't think people even cared that they won, so this makes the Raw team look weaker, adding those two to it to replace Goldust and Truth. And here was one of the best parts of the night, was the crowd at Scotland went insane for, but Cole came out, talked about the Raw women's team. Charlotte came out saying she's the leader, which she brought out Nia Jax, Alicia Fox, but got no reaction. They said her promo was bad, talking about being civil and talking about Brad and Angelina, and she just got no reaction when Alicia Fox came out. They barely got anybody on Raw for these women, because it literally is sitting around 2 or 3 women on this show. You forget who the others are at the time. But Bayley came out as the 4th member on the team, pretty much. And, you know, everyone literally just went on for almost 10 minutes. Now, some people want to say people get pissed saying like, oh, they shouldn't be hijacking the show. They're disrespecting the women's segment. And this is where the audio levels come in. Because I've seen clips that people put on the internet of the Bayley segment. And it was loud. Because everybody went on and saying, hey, they, ha, I want to know, will you be my girl? Which everybody sang for almost 15 minutes out there, and it was insane. Which Charlotte brought the final member was Dana Brooke, which I actually botched in the match, and I'm about to mention in a minute. But Sasha Banks came out as Cole pretty much said Sasha Banks was the real 5th member, and since everyone wouldn't stop singing, she even sang along to "Will Be My Girl" to Bayley, and everybody just started clapping as Charlotte pretty much got tired of everybody singing that song. Says, what are you saying? Your accents are terrible. But you can't blame the crowd for hijacking the show for how horrible this show's gone on to begin with only like 3 matches in about 2 hours. So I feel bad for Scotland for even having to sit through this. And I heard it was one of the first Raws or whatever, really, but they had to sit through a 3-hour show nearly. I think it was only probably like 3 or 4 matches, or maybe 5 matches if I'm right, but almost 3 matches, and were really quick. And these matches weren't even like long. These went on almost like 4 to 7 minutes with these matches, really. But the crowd amusing themselves and chanting the entire Bayley singing thing was just great, really. I love that the Scottish fans hijacked the show, which now turned into a 6 women's tag match with Bayley, Sasha, and Alicia Fox versus Charlotte, Dana Brooke, and Nia Jax. Bayley got the belly on Charlotte and won, and Cole wanted to say, who's the weak link now? Even though Charlotte just won the title back and pretty much took a pin to Bayley already. But, and here's another thing, it almost put 6 women in the Survivor Series bracket because Dana Brooke is still on the side of it. So is Natalya. So is she a coach too? Just make Natalya, or are we just gonna make this a 12-woman tag? You might as well have done that to make it 5 if we're adding all these other women into the match also. But the only thing that was really great out of this whole thing was the people singing the Bayley theme throughout pretty much the entire segment and match. Could you blame them? It was fun, really. Seth Rollins was interviewed in the back. You know, somebody, you know, some other guys don't like join the party, he says. And Strowman pretty much said, he came up and told Seth, like, I've seen the opportunity you took, so I'm going to snap you like a twig and everything. So, I guess they're going to go with Strowman coming after everybody. Lana came out to talk about, you know, the support for this pathetic village and stuff. But some people think if Lana was even speaking English or not out there, was even doing her Russian accent. But it was Rusev versus Sami Zayn, and whoever wins gets a title shot, which was Sami Zayn that won with a haluva kick off the top rope, beating Rusev. Which I don't know what they're doing with Rusev nowadays. That guy, stick a fork in that guy. They killed him. But I do feel like now, since it is Sami Zayn versus Dolph Ziggler at Survivor Series for the Intercontinental Championship, they probably may steal the show. They might as well steal the show, really. And I can't wait till they do it. So they're gonna put on a fantastic match, maybe the best match out of the night. Because we have really Goldberg versus Lesnar and a lot of tag team matches. So Sami Zayn versus Dolph Ziggler for the Intercontinental Championship. Looking forward to it. And the main event, pretty much, which is a lot of people that get pissed at this now. When people came out when everybody came out for the Fatal 5-Way, Kevin Owens came out, I believe, 3rd or 4th. Which people get pissed at this is, why is the U.S. champion coming out last? Shouldn't the so-called world champion of this show be coming out last? If he's the Universal title and stuff champion, why is Kevin Owens coming out earlier than Roman Reigns? Because they want Roman to be so big, they got to make the U.S. title look more important than the Universal title. Which I don't know. Kevin Owens, I feel sometimes he's been taking a back seat to all this, because also the most entertaining person out of all this that we paid attention to is Chris Jericho. Some people almost look at it as Chris Jericho is the leader and Kevin Owens is the sidekick, since Jericho is so super over with this list. But they did a Fatal 5-Way, and Kevin Owens won the match after Reigns did a Superman punch on Owens, and he landed on Jericho, which got a 3 count. But this show was horrible, pretty much. Kevin Owens and Jericho pretty much celebrated, and some people wanted this, if this is gonna hurt hurt Jericho and Owens' friendship and whatever. And are we gonna get the Shield at Survivor Series? And Strowman just feels like to be there, but like he's just there. But I don't know. The show was horrible. It was just bad. Just a lot of segments I don't think people cared about. Things that didn't make sense, and you couldn't blame the Scottish crowd for hijacking the entire show. You cannot blame them in any type of shape, way, or form. Like, they did what they did, and it was funny. I don't know what every chant was out there, which I'm sure I'll look up again. But even at the arena, if you were there at in Scotland live, it was louder, because I know on TV they tried to mess with the audio levels, and people know that because of the retards like Kevin Dunn wanted to mess with it in the back. So it was pretty much the crowd really taking over a bad show pretty much the entire time. The crowd just took matters into their own hand and took over the show. But that's my Raw review. I'll see you later. And I know they promote the election, especially if we get to the SmackDown review. I'm not even gonna say that much on the election because I've already said the things. Well, I haven't said much. I just said I don't even care about this election anymore at this point. You vote for who, it's whatever, especially with these 2 clown shoes that are running for election right now, but, for president. But I'll just say this. I voted for Bernie Sanders, and I just look at this election as the lesser of 2 evils at this point. So, I'm not going to say who, but
we all know this is now lesser of two evils. You wonder, like, is this all we have really at this point? Who's running for president? I don't know. I'm not gonna even get that much on politics, even though they have Roman Reigns try to promote it, and I'm sure they turned off a lot of people from voting now. And which is another stupid thing we heard tonight. Next week's supposed to be a State of the Union that'll be addressed on the network with Stephanie, Mick Foley, Shane, and Daniel Bryan, which I'll probably not look at. Why would you wait till a week after the election to do this, which is stupid in my opinion? What are you gonna do? Talk about Survivor Series coming up? Like, I don't watch them stand on some podium that like some type of debate, State of the Union. It makes no sense. It just sounds retarded. But I'm gonna go. I'm out of here. I'll see you guys later. Peace. Pretty much another bad episode of Raw. I'm out. See you soon for Survivor Series in about a week or two. Peace.